Good morning and welcome to review week for your comps. So I am going to go over briefly the Paleolithic era, and then I'll create a second video going over the Neolithic era. In addition to these two videos, I will be uploading a PowerPoint presentation that goes over the evolution of man. So just in case some of you don't have your archive binders at home, this should help you answer those questions on the study guide. So let's just get to it. So a big thing, you guys will need to be able to identify the out of Africa theory on a map. So this is what it looks like. On your previous tests and quizzes and pre-comps, you've seen different maps that represent the same thing. But the main issue here is that we evolved, right? And we started migrating out of Africa. So the earliest human societies. So anthropologists discovered Lucy in 1974. Her species is Australopithecus afarensis. It is one of the earliest ancestors of humans. She lived approximately 4 to 3 million years ago. I said that backwards. She was much smaller. I would be tall compared to her, if you can believe it. Homo erectus, they walked upright. They appeared in Africa about 1.5 million years ago, and they walked completely upright. It is believed that they were the first to control fire. This is huge. This is a comp topic. Homo erectus was the first to domesticate fire. They used fire to cook food, give off heat and protection, as well as using stone tools and migrating out of Africa to Asia and Europe. Then comes the Neanderthals. They lived in caves and tents. They made clothes from animal skins, and they were the first humans to bury their dead, which suggests they believed in the afterlife. They also created cave paintings. Homo sapiens sapiens are going to replace earlier ancestors of humans. They are the most sophisticated hominids, and they're modern-day humans. So that is our species. You'll notice we didn't talk about the Cro-Magnon man. That's okay. The main species I want you to remember is Homo erectus. Stone tools. So during the Paleolithic era, it is also known as the Old Stone Age, they used stone tools. So tools are any object that has been modified to help a person accomplish a task. The first tools were sharpened stones, approximately the size of the human fist, about 2.6 million years ago. Their main use was for processing food, so cutting, chopping, and scraping. Their society was built up of kinship groups. This is a vocabulary word. They are small groups of no more than 50 people. Together they would hunt and gather their food. Women gathered, men hunted. They had a broad spectrum diet. So key points to pick out from here. Their society was built up of kinship groups. If you don't know what kinship means, please write down the definition, family units. They hunted and gathered for their food. Women gathered, men hunted, and they had a broad spectrum diet, meaning they had multiple foods that they ate as a part of their diet. Another important fact, they were nomadic. They went where the food was. These are all important factors or characteristics for the Paleolithic era. Another important factor, they had an egalitarian society, which meant equality between men and women. They had very little, if any, social stratification. They also had little accumulated wealth. Since they were moving around a lot, they didn't have a lot of possessions because they'd have to carry it with them from place to place. Their pack leadership was based off of the idea that the community as a whole would punish the wrongdoer. So everything that we've learned from them suggests they were equal. So their economy and environment, they're originally the affluent society, meaning they had fewer work hours, more leisure hours, and limited needs to be met. Basically, their only needs to be met were don't die and eat food. The rest was extra. So they adapted their environment by setting fires. They're also responsible for animal extinctions, specifically the woolly mammoth. As mentioned earlier when we talked about the Neanderthals, we do believe they have had some sort of a primitive religion, which we call animism. Animism is the belief in spirits of all animals and objects. Women were also extremely important because of their ability to give life through birthing children. We know these things through Venus figures as depicted here and through cave paintings. So first migrations, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because you don't have to know migration patterns. You just have to be able to identify the map. So forgive me if we're going a little too quickly, but again, you don't have to focus on this. You're watching a video though, so if you really want to, you can pause the video, copy down the notes, and then move on. So we see a series of migrations out of Africa and the Middle East about 45,000 to 20,000 years ago into Eurasia, into Europe and Asia. Into Australia, we see them migrating as early as 60,000 years ago by boat, which was a first for humans. Then they made their way into the Americas, crossing the Bering Strait, which was this land bridge. Due to colder temperatures, there were lower sea level, and the water that was there was frozen. I'm talking about right here. So this is the land Bering Strait. It connects from Asia to North America. Not anymore, obviously, because we have higher sea levels and all that stuff. But these people that entered North and South America are going to be known as the Clovis people because of their Clovis point. They're found all over America. Their large impact in America is they're going to cause large animal extinctions. So woolly mammoths become extinct in North and South America thanks to these Clovis people. They're going to adapt to various ecological niches, meaning different temperatures and climates, and they're going to survive. Intentional colonization of the Polynesian islands in the Pacific is going to happen around 3,500 to 1,000 years ago. They will have a large impact on the economy. So again, just to reiterate, for the Paleolithic era, you need to know that they were nomadic, meaning they moved around a lot. They had an egalitarian society, meaning men and women were considered equal. They had a broad spectrum diet, meaning they had multiple foods that they could eat as long as they found them, right? They hunted and gathered their food, and they lived in kinship groups of no more than 25 to 50 people. Now, if we have those main characteristics, we can then make further assumptions like they had smaller populations because they didn't have a consistent food source, or they weren't as susceptible to diseases because they didn't live closely to each other, and the foods that they ate were nutrient rich. So I hope this has been helpful. Please remember, it's a video, so if you missed something, you can watch these as review, go back, pause, do what you need to do. But student hours are today. If you have any questions, please reach out. They're also on Friday. And with that, we're going to move on to the Neolithic era.